What's up, everybody? It is the Best Spot Kid Smooth, and I am due for a haircut ASAP because I'm looking a little scruffy, but we'll get that taken care of. But I'm doing this video because I haven't got a chance to talk about this. But remember those was it a couple months ago? How everybody was celebrating and going nuts because Xbox did their price increase. They increased the price of the Xbox Series X and S. I think it bought the price of the standard. I think the special edition of Xbox, which these aren't like high production regular like SKUs, but I think the Galaxy Xbox went up to like $700, and yeah, was it $700, $699, and then the Xbox Series X Black I think went up to with the disc drive to $599. And then the all digital, I think, was at like $549 or $499 or whatever it is. And the Series S was like, I think, $429 for the larger hard drive one. I think it's 2 TB, was like $429, and the cheapest one, which used to be like $299, is like $379, something like that. So the prices went up, and that was that. Obviously console wasn't selling well that much anyway. And then people, I forgot, some YouTubers said, well, they're raising their price because they're just trying to get rid of their stock. It has nothing to do with the tariffs. Now, this week, PlayStation has announced that it's increasing its prices. The PlayStation 5 digital edition is going up from $400 to $500. And the PS5, the classic, with the disc drive, is going up to $550. And the expensive PS5 Pro is going from $700 to $750. So, and things just return back to normal, with PlayStation being the most, having the most expensive console on the market, which people will look at it and say it's only $50. It is what it is, man. At the end of the day, like, I think I'm happy I still got my Xbox Series X. I gotta, my daughter has a Series S. These are the consoles I got at whatever price they were when they launched. I've gotten rid of my PS5 Pro. I didn't think it was worth it then. Still don't think it's worth it now. But I still got a classic PS5 with the disc drive. So and they do, it is what it is. Got a PC, so these console prices don't change anything for me necessarily. However, it impacts the people who have not transitioned into this generation yet. Considering we're 5 years into it, I'm not sure why it's a long layover, but I do feel that most PS4 users have upgraded on Xbox, and not sure. But yeah, this increase now puts everything back on even playing field. And it's just interesting because, people were, celebrating PlayStation. It was like, oh, PS5 Pro is even much more of a value now considering Xbox raised its price. But every day, right, with game releases, game performance tests and stuff like that, I still, to me, in my opinion, I don't think the PlayStation 5 Pro has really done anything that I saw that's really too far from what the Series X is capable of, or what the Series X has been doing. The performance delta hasn't been that large. There's a couple outliers that falls in the PS5 Pro's favor, but there's some outliers. It's like, what? But other than that, man, it's just it really does suck. Something has to give. It looks like, from a software standpoint, not everyone has adopted the $80. We saw Xbox retract their $80 attempt, and games. But then it's some interesting in the gaming industry is occurring, because we're starting to get some of these $50 experiences that have been like hitting, like, what I mean? Obviously Mafia, which I still haven't played yet. We had Clear Obscures, Expedition 33. I feel like in this climate that we have, with the increasing cost of consoles, the increasing cost of games, Game Pass is obviously, to me, it's always been like a great value, but it seems like an ideal situation to have. And if people disagree with that, I think that's just more so stubbornness, because gaming is expensive. Like, this has been the longest I've went without buying games on like a day one cadence and stuff like that. I got a couple games that I want to pick up that's not dropping in Game Pass, but I haven't been like gotta buy this day one. Now I'd be like, all right, yo, which one of these titles is likely to get like a discount first? That's really been the mentality here. But no, it sucks to see that these prices increase. But for some reason, people thought PlayStation 5 was safe. I think even PlayStation had like a temporary discount on I think on one of the PlayStation bundles, and they people were using that as bait to attack Xbox, whatever. But now they increased their price. They're now again the most expensive console, no matter which way you cut it. If you're interested in getting one, I mean, you're stuck paying a higher price. This is the weirdest generation ever. For the simple fact that just last generation during this time, consoles were going down, prices were being cut, and now this is the complete reverse. So it doesn't bode well for the next generation, whatever they plan for the next 2 to 3 years. The consoles, whatever the PlayStation 6 is going to be, whatever the Xbox Next is going to be, we're most certainly looking at $1,000 consoles for sure, somewhere $800 to $1,000 for a console is easily, because they really conditioned us in this. And then with these handhelds, of course, they conditioned us to see these outrageous prices, and they're getting normalized like iPhones was. When iPhones were like, a simple, $300-$400, $500 for an iPhone. And back then it was still expensive, but then they started hitting us with 800, 900, 1,000. 1,500, you know what I mean? And then what they did for us to really accept it is we stopped being able to own the phones. What they did was all these carriers got on these installment plans, and they put us, they forced us to pay for these phones over like 2-3 year stretch. And that's exactly what's happening. The thing about gaming consoles, they don't come on a phone plan or a monthly plan. I think Xbox tried to do it. And I think with that I think it was called Xbox Anywhere, where you had the console, you had Game Pass and whatever, all inclusive for a monthly price. But the thing is, that only works if you're on like some sort of service. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. You have to partner up with a cable provider. So I don't know how they're gonna do this with consoles, and I think that's the step they're looking for, because if you're gonna sell a $900, $1,000, $1,200 console, you got to consider like how they were able to do. Nobody's buying phones outright like that. They're able to push this with phones. Phones are able to sell at this because phones are a necessity, and these things are being paid for over time. There's not really a medium for gaming to be paid that way. The closest thing you have is Game Pass, and that's a software base. You drop in the console in that process, then you got something. So I won't be surprised if these companies find a way to put consoles on installments because of how expensive they're becoming. But let me know your thoughts on the PlayStation price increase, the Xbox price increase, the overall cost of gaming today, and how it's impacting you and what you've been doing to combat these increases. That's my thoughts, man. Kid Smooth. Xbox is the best box. I am the best spot. Good night or good morning if you're on the other side of the globe. I am out of here. Peace.